Yes. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is T-Man and today I'm saying yes please to the Arturia Beatstep Pro. Here on the channel I'll just say yes please to anything music related that I like, and I'm just kind of going to show you how I set up the Arturia Beatstep Pro with Ableton Live and how I've decided that I'm going to use it just mainly for the drums for this video. But I will be going through other aspects of it. So let's get it up on screen. So here we have it. That is the Arturia Beatstep Pro. And as you can see, we've got 3 sequences on it. You've got the green, number 1, then the yellow, number 2, and the drum. So these 2 are melodic sequences, and this one is the drum sequencer. You've got 16, 32, 48, 64 steps on here. So it can run through 4 times. You've got 16 up here is each step. So I use that as a bar for Ableton. And so I can kind of get my drums out on there. Well, realistically, what it is it's a controller. So if you want to use it as a controller for Ableton or your DAW, you can, or any of your synths. It's also a sequencer and a nice little composing tool, really. It's kind of good thing about it is you can use it in different setups or link your setups. So, for example, at the moment, I've got the USB cable here going into my computer, which I'm running on Ableton, and I'm using as an external device. So Ableton's the main, and that'll be the main tempo on there, and then the Arturia Beatstep Pro will follow that. So when I press play on there, it will be in time with the sequencer on Ableton. So then realistically I can put all my drums in drum kit on there, which I'll show you in a minute how I set up, and then I can play them live from here. You can literally have any of your virtual devices, analog, digital synths, and drum machines, and even if you want to use it with the iPad Pro, which I have, and it works well. So you can use it like that. If you press, they've got these buttons up here, so that's internal USB, MIDI and clock, I think. And then you can scroll through it by pressing that. If you go onto internal, that means that this is the main tempo. It will follow this. So if I change it to that and then go on to Ableton and press external, then that will change Ableton, and Ableton will follow this. And the good thing about this then, if you have it that way, you've got all your inputs and outputs on the back. So there's your on off. That one is to the USB. And then you've got MIDI in and out. So if you've got, they've got the little MIDI connectors that come with this. So if you've got your DIN straight from your old analog synths, that's good. So I've done the doorless one before. It's good for the doorless artists, where I'll send MIDI out to a synth, run it through another synth, and then through and back, and it will keep it all in time. And then you can have it on each sequencer, so you can have one on there, and then one on the drums, which is good. And then you've got all your drum gates and clock and all your CV ones there for all your modular synthesizers and all your bits and pieces like that. And then here you can literally have it so you're playing all your drum sounds. So if you've got it all made up of your kick, your snare, your hi-hats, etc., your shakers, depends what sort of music you're making, it's all pretty similar. And then you can click on the sequencer here and sequencer here. So they're the melodic ones. I'm not going into them today, I'm just showing you how I'm setting up with the drums at the moment. And then you can change your shift, the velocity and gate, and mess around with these on there as well. Also, if you're using it as a controller, you have to press that one, make sure it's on CC, and then you can go into control mode, and then you can map any of these to Ableton Live, which is kind of what I'm showing you in this video. Right, so if I get up Ableton and show you, right, so you should have Ableton up there now. First, you want to set it up. So there is quite a few different videos on how you want to set up the Beatstep Pro with Ableton. Just there's a few on YouTube. This isn't a full setup video. I'm just showing you how I'm using it and give you ideas if you want to buy one or you just like want to see how you want to get working. So if we go Control Comma, I've got it set up. So I've got Beatstep Pro. I've got the 3 ons there for track sync remote, and then off on that one, and the 2 for the other one. On there's 2 inputs, and then I've got it so the Beatstep on track sync remote on them, and then off on the second one on there. So it depends how you're having it set up. I'll go into the sync delay. You might need to just kind of adjust that to get it in time. Right, so first things first, that's set up, it's reading on there, and then you can literally go to MIDI from on there as well. You can see your Beatstep Pro. Channel 10 is on the drums. So now we know that is set up. Then yeah, so the reason I got these set up like this is so I can have a drum kit on here on Ableton, and then once I got the drum kit on, I've got my kick, snare, hi-hats, like, and rims, and I'm going to get the shakers in there, all my other bits, eventually getting through it. So this is just a basic idea as I set it up. I've already got the different variations of the different style drum beats for drum and bass, or the different subgenres of drum and bass as well. I've got a blank one up here at the moment, so I'll show you why I've got that in a sec. That's to do with looping on Ableton or just having a blank one play. If I go onto here, let's click this one. Right, so there you can see it. That's the sounds in there, so that's why I've got them on a drum kit, so I can click whatever one I want, and then all I need to do is go into my samples, drag a kick into there, a snare into there, a hi-hat into there, and then this is why it's good for producers. So you can have it basic if you just want to hit out some finger drumming, or just kind of listen to the different samples, throw in another kick there, throw in another snare, try out different variations, and then you can try out what sort of style drum and bass you're making, or just kind of get a bit creative. So that's the first idea on there. So if I show you the drums there, so kick, snare, so it will skip right through them, so it looks pretty cool on there. Yeah, so I can go through like that, and you just want to use the Beatstep Pro to hit the notes out, that's a good idea. So we've got that set up now. I would say the next one would be, if you want to loop it, Ableton looping. So kind of like a looper anyway. So all you need is, you need like a blank MIDI one for a bar. Yeah, so one sec. Right, so now we've got that going. We've got the little red thing up here clicked on, and to record it. So now it'll just record anything you want. So if we put the metronome on, literally just kind of finger drum on. Well, you get the idea really. So that's the first one. If you just want to hit the drums out, you can. That's why I got that there. Try out your different combinations. I've got it set up with my kicks and all my different variations on the drum kit itself. And then I got it set up on here with my samples, so I can just drag them in, kick, snare, hi-hat, like that. So then productivity is going to be a lot quicker and it's nice and clean and set up. And now I've got it so I can just hit out the drum sounds. And then I've also got it on here if I want to loop Ableton Live on there. So that's two good options to have. The next one, I'm going actually, before we get going, I'm just going to show you something. So now we've got the, what you want to do is, if you've got a variation of your kicks like there, you need to check that this is in time. So there's my kick. I'm going to go on the 1 and the 7s. As you can tell, it's in time. But if you look here, it can go out. So you just want to play with that bit until it gets in time. If you've done that, you know it's in time. So let's turn that off a sec. Right, so we've checked that that's in time. You want to play this. So let's get a blank one now, and then we'll show you what's good about performing it kind of like in a live sense with all the different bits of the drums and that. So this is the main bit here. So if we go onto we'll go onto a blank one. We now know that's in time, right? We'll press play on here. As you see, oh shit, Ableton is, and this is completely in time with the beats are 16 steps. And then you want to either, you've got two choices now. You can draw them in like this. So this is what's good about having up these on here. So I can kind of just copy one. So, and now if you hit this button, when you finger drum, it will record it straight onto there, but you've got to try and get it in time. if we pause that, that's the drum kit playing on here. So if you want to just kind of play around with it, you can. So let's try it again. Let's mute drum. Oh, it mutes the whole thing. I wonder. So you can play around with the different settings on there. Really, so let's pause that. Right, so that's pretty much it on that. So you can literally just draw it in and perform it live with the drums, which is kind of the way I enjoy doing it. I'm not going into the melodic sequences at the moment or any other setups. I'll save that for when I go in. This one I was just kind of doing the hook up with the drums and show you how I will be using it in the future. So obviously then you can just kind of draw it in there. You can go on, say if you've got Chord Gadget or you've got any drum machine ones on there or your own drum kits and stuff, just load them straight in. Open a drum kit like that, a drum rack, and then load your different ones in. If you've got, say, for example, VST with drums on, just drag the VST in there and it should hook it up. Make sure it's on channel 10 and then you can play it all there and then you can just kind of play out your drums live. So the next bit I was just going to try and show you is if you've got it set up as a controller, you can map whatnot to it. So I have my drums on here so they come up on the sideways like that. So once I get my new control surface, I'll be having the volumes of these set up separately so I can then just flick in. So if I go into control mode, as you see, that one's mapped there so I can turn up the sound and whatnot. So if I go on to... So this is why you need it in time. So I can hear it ever so slightly. But you just take these off a sec. Right, so we've got that one playing there. So if I pause that sec, so what you do is go press control mode. Oh shit, you've got your CC up there. So what you do is you go MIDI, so that's in CC mode and control mode. You go to MIDI like that and then you click on whatever you want to control. So if I click on this one and then I'll click on that, it's come up. I'll just change that to 0 like that, so it should skip down to the lowest and then to back to 0. And then because it's in, there you go, it's in MIDI. And if I'll show you now. So pull down the volume of the drums, back up. Let's see, where does it keep doing that? Right. And another one I've got is I've got these mapped as well. So you can literally map whatever you want then into Ableton. So if I go to MIDI, I've got these, these ones here to select if you can hear the sound or not. Mapped to these lights here. And that means that I can then just kind of drop in and out the kick or the snare as I want. So what I did was click on them and then clicked on these buttons again. So I'll show you. So let's play it. Right, so if we get, and then you can start getting creative. Yes. Right, so that is the Beatstep Pro. So that's how I'm going to use it, and that's how I've got set up at the moment. I'm kind of just using it as a controller and a sequencer with Ableton, and mainly focusing on drums. But that does not mean I'm not going to use the melodic sequencers in it. I'm going to probably use my TD3 into one of them. Depends on how much detail or how good I can get it to sound with the MIDI patterns within this. You could get creative, I guess, with probably putting your own samples in your own drum kits and launching your samples like sampler and stuff like that. So I just know I've got these set up as drums, I've got these set up as the bits, and then I'm probably going to set up and map these like I did on the control mode with probably different effects racks or different effects knobs for the DJ one, so I free up some more knobs on my other controller. Right, so thanks for tuning in. That was Yes Please to the Arturia Beatstep Pro. No, it wasn't like a full-on tutorial. I was just wanted to show you how I was going to use it with Ableton Live and the drums. So thank you for tuning in, and take it easy. Goodbye.